Good. Testing. Good. So the sound is working. Share, copy. Hello, everyone. Welcome for joining. There we go. No. Yes. Cool. Hi, welcome. How are you guys doing today? Hmm. Hmm. Great. I'm just going to give a minute for people to see that we're live and that we're about to start the course. It always take a little bit of time at first setting this up so that people can join and we can get going with the class. Good. So, what are we doing? Down to 3? All right. Welcome to everyone who's watching right now. As usual, quick disclaimer before we start. I am teaching this course with the assumption that you have some basic Qigong knowledge, that you're also able to take care of yourself and not do anything that would harm you. The movements that we're going to see are fairly simple, but if you have any particular restriction of your movement, be mindful of them. Never force, never go to a position that creates pain. I'm not there to watch you, so I can't guide you personally, so you are responsible of your own movements. Um, and with that being said, let's get started. You're allowed to take pause whenever you need to, sit down, watch me. You don't have to do all the same amount of repetition that I'm doing as I'm teaching the movements. With this out of the way, welcome. In today's class, we'll see the last two movements of set two so that we can then move on to connecting all the movement together in the next two sessions of this week. So we are at turning the hand in front of the DanTian and calming the Qi to finish up the form. Moving the Qi in front of the DanTian, we'll have, as usual, feet parallel, about shoulder width apart, just to feel comfortable, and you can rock yourself a little bit front and back, left and right, until you find the center spot where your weight is balanced between the 2 feet, and that you can find that sweet spot in the center. Your knees are slightly bent and alive, pneumatic. You don't want to tie them up or have them unable to move. And then you have your seated posture that's relaxed on top of your head, on top of your legs. Your waist should be soft and able to move because we're going to use it in this particular movement. Um, so the spine stretching, feeling how the breath into the lower abdomen help increase the intra-abdominal pressure, the stretching of the spine upward, relaxing of the shoulders, arm hanging on your side. And just gently breathing, calming the mind, feeling the connection through your whole body. In today's particular movement, I'll explain it in two different phases. One that makes it easier to kind of grasp the general movement, and then the second one, which is the actual way of doing the movement, but that requires a bit more of coordination and perception. So this will be in two phases to facilitate the learning of the movement. Let me just turn this light on so you can see me a little better. So the first phase to start to learn this particular movement is that we're going to use our weights to shift gently from one side to the other as we're moving. So it's not 100% weight with a big weight shift like we've been doing for most exercise where we have a weight shift. But here that weight shift will just give us the smoothness to let the arm float. And yeah, I'm literally mean floating. So you want to have these arms kind of relax. It your hands should stay at the same height, more or less belly button height, or slightly above, to have a sensation like your hands are rolling on top of the dantian. And gradually through this movement, so if I do it sideways, even as my hand will come closer to my body and then move out, they stay on the same level here. I don't want my hand to go up and then come back down when they come close to the body. I want them to remain here. So although my arm is extended, I'm not going to let them rise with the shoulder. I keep my hands at the same level. The first phase to start to understand this is to use the weight shift more or less coordinated with the hands to start to feel how the body moves together. So at this point, it doesn't matter which side you're starting to turn. We're going to adjust that later with the breathing. But for now, we just want to feel that our hands are floating and that as we're moving our body, our hands are being carried through the movement. So simply rotating gently. My hands are kind of doing a circle in front of the body as I'm shifting gently my weight from one side to the other. And they're going from closer to my body, out in front, and then coming back and doing that circular motion. Almost like if I had a table and I was just kind of wiping the top of the table or polishing a mirror. The breathing will keep the principle that we inhale when our hands are coming closer to the body, and then we exhale as our hands are coming out. So inhaling as I bring my hands close to me, and exhaling as my hands come out. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And then once you did your rotation a few times in one direction, as you finish the exhale, shift direction, inhale, exhale. And for the time being, don't worry too much about how to coordinate everything. We just keep kind of a single or simple rotation between the weight shift, the gentle waist rotation, the hands gliding. So we want to find that floatiness under our arm, feeling like our hands are just gently floating on top of water. Inhaling as we bring them closer, exhaling as they come out. And gradually, you'll want to start to use a bit of separation, or it's not the separation because they work together. How can I put that? Your waist and weight shift will move before your hands, which means that your hands are kind of dragging behind, being pulled through the body as you're gently shifting your weight from one side to the other. So in order for this to function, you need to keep your arms very loose, very soft. And just to do that will allow our arms to kind of hang around. And here you can see how turning the waist creates a momentum that propel my arm, and then they start to turn. So here I shift my weight first, and then my arms kind of follow. So the movement starts from the waist and gradually move up towards the torso and then express itself towards my hands. So I'll use the same principle just in a smaller fashion. Up, having my hands coming through, letting them glide gently, and as I switch my weight up, my hands are gonna just kind of start to follow. So here I'll exaggerate this movement a little bit just so you can start to feel. Up. So here my hands are kind of going too far out, but for now we're gonna accept that. Shifting my weight is gonna pull them, and I'll let them glide through, and then I shift my weight up, my arms will naturally expand up, and then come back closer to the body, and then shift. So making a bigger movement at first to start to understand the mechanic of what we're doing. And then you can switch direction, doing a big movement, keeping your hips forward and adding a little bit more rotation through the thigh, through the waist, sorry, up to feel that big movement, how shifting the weight from one side to the other starts the movement and increase it. Switching side again, just to get the feeling how you shift the weight creates the rotation of the upper body. and how that creates a little bit of delay within the movement. So here I'm shifting my weight, and it's that weight shift that bring the upper body that creates the rotation of the arm. And for that, you need to be as relaxed as you can from the waist up so that your arms can just naturally follow. Once you understand this movement, we're going to start to make it a little smaller, just so that we have the normal range of the movement we're looking for. So I'm here, I'm starting to shift my weight to pull my hands towards me and let them glide. And once they reach the middle of my body, I'll start to shift my weight the other side, which will create the movement through my arm. Then pulling it, and again on the other side. Up and out. Inhaling, and exhaling. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, and then shifting direction. Inhale, exhale. In, out. You want to get that floatiness, that sensation that the air between your palm becomes thicker, almost like if you're stirring up a soup or something very thick that you're moving around. And in order not to tire yourself, you're using your body weight to guide and give you the impulse of the movement and steering that beautiful soup in front of you. And then once you exhale, up, reversing the direction, inhaling, exhale, inhale, exhale. You might start to feel the ball inside the lower DanTian that's rotating and participating with the movement as well. Feeling the rotation through the lumbar spine, the solidity through the hips and the legs, stretch of the spine all the way to Bai Hui. The connectivity of the abdominal and thoracic breath on the inhale, and the relaxation on the exhale. And then changing direction. Inhale, exhale. In and out. And let's do one more. Inhale, exhale. And letting your arms come down to the side. Taking a moment to observe the sensation inside the lower abdomen. See if you can perceive the circulation of qi that the movement created.